Hey guys, welcome! Today I would like to show you how I make a plushy game character in chibi style. Actually, this was not my idea, it came from my friend who wanted to make an unusual present for her friend. At first I drew a sketch of the doll in natural size, proportional to my friend's sketch, and then turned it into the pattern for sewing. All of the details I took from the sketch just as they are, so everything will be very simple, except the head. To achieve the round form for the head, I added some constructive seams in the middle of the back side of the back part of the head, one little seam on top of the frontal part, and the chin. At this point, it's a bit hard to explain, but you will definitely understand it when you see the sewing process. When the pattern was done, I cut all of the parts out of fabric. Here I use a fleece fabric because it's stretchy and it will be easier to avoid sharp edges and give the toy a smooth form. Eyes I'm going to make out of felt and stitch them to the face with zigzag stitch. But before that I added a layer of interfacing to the face to protect it from deformation. Now I can trace the position of eyes from the sketch to the fabric with this little trick. And the same goes for mouth. I will also stitch it with zigzag, but at first stitch a guideline by hands. I also stitched the interfacing to the main material, so it will not be moving when I build everything together. The small details I will draw with acrylic paint for textile. At first I tested materials on some scrap fabric to see how it works. Textile marker, for example, left a stain around the drawing, so better always do some little test. To get a good coverage, I needed few layers of acrylics. When the drawing is done, it has to dry for 24 hours, and then I ironed it through cotton fabric to finally fix the paint on fabric. Eyebrows were too tiny to sew them with the machine, so I glued them with a special glue for textile, and a little bean for the forehead. After it dries, this glue has to be fixed with ironing as well. Next up is the back side of the head. I also added interfacing to it because later I will stitch hair to it and the head will need additional support to survive this. The character is wearing home shoes, so I will replace a part of his feet with white fabric so it looks like shoes. I didn't want to waste time on making a special pattern for this, so I improvised. First, fixed just rectangular pieces and after fixing front and back together, corrected the form. The same will happen with arms by attaching the gloves. To fix arms to the body, I am going to use some old school trick with buttons. Such a joint will make arms flexible and buttons will secure the fabric from ripping off. Done! Now stuffing the arms and closing the exit with hand stitches. For ears I also added some interfacing, this time to keep their form. You see, interfacing is a very useful thing. I actually took the technique from the fashion industry, but as you see, it can be used not just for clothes. Now let's quickly sew the head parts together. And now you can see the purpose of such a long neck. It is supposed to go inside the head, and the long neck will make a connection stable. Besides that, it's easier to work with because I have more flexibility in placing the head on it. Because the head is so large, it's pretty hard to stitch it to the neck, so first I fixed it on place just in 4 spots and then all around the neck. Now comes the only plushy detail of this plushie, cat ears. I will use 2 colors, 2 shades of grey, but the inner detail of the ear I will make a bit smaller, so after I sew them together, the darker grey will overlap the light grey a bit and create a nice border around it. Now also adding some interfacing to make ears to be able to keep form without stuffing them and making the head even heavier. Now when ears are done, you can see the darker grey comes to the front as well. Usually people are using this technique for making collars, pockets, etc. But in my case it is for a decorative purpose. The most time-consuming part was making hair. I don't like all of this ugly flat hair out of felt that you can see on the typical anime merch, so I went with the hard way with brushing acrylic yarn. Acrylic yarn is made out of long synthetic fibers that are long enough to become hair. Such a hair is very soft and easy to style. After I straightened the hair, I applied some super glue in the middle, so hair will be secured. Maybe it's not so necessary, but better safe than sorry. And when glue is dry, I am fixing wefts one by one on his head. As I mentioned, this hair is easy to style, but it's too early. First, I will give him a haircut. This tool I'm using is just a razor for eyebrows. Have to be careful not to cut too much. Now the guy is ready and I will start making the outfit. The pattern is based on the pattern of doll itself with little adjustments. The print I draw with the textile marker this time. Have to be careful with them not to leave any stains. What I can advise is to use cotton fabric, and if you need to layer paints, let the first line dry at least a bit, so there will not be too much liquid to spread all over the dress. So, the drawing has to dry for 6 hours now and then have to be ironed as well, just like acrylic paint I used. In the meantime, I will make other parts of the outfit, like the necktie for example. When the drawing is dry and secured, I am adding other decor to it. If you think that this is some special fluffy band, it's not, it's just the edge of a suit fabric roll. This simple embroidery I make is not just for looks, but also for additional fixation of the fluffy border. Making the outfit was my favorite part, so many little details, just how I like. Let's try it on. Fits well, I think. With the pants it wasn't that easy, because at first I wanted to make pants without the side seam and they were too large, so I had to adjust them a bit. Now it's the turn of the hood. The shirt has an opening at the back, so I can't fix it to the collar. That's why I decided to make it as a separate piece together with the necktie. Like this it looks a bit weird, but on the doll it looks great, I think. Now adding some more little details. Earrings I made a bit different than on the sketch, because large beans would be too heavy, stuffed beans would look weird and would also be heavy, so I fixed little shiny glass beans that are nicely visible and look high-end. The doll is finally done. It came out much better than I expected, so maybe I will make some more dolls in this style later. Please share your opinion in the comments down below. I would be very grateful for your likes and if you would subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, bye!